What's up, you guys, and welcome to another edition of Rope and Rumble Wrestling News. I'm Chase Harmon. I got the Raw review right here in my hands, got my notes, so we're just going to dive right in, guys. So we started off the show with Alexa and Mickie James coming out. Strange to see Mickie still by Alexa's side. I didn't quite understand that exactly, but it ended up making more sense, I suppose, towards the end. But so Alexa gets in the ring, gets on the mic, starts doing her typical thing, running her mouth about everybody else, how sorry they are, and how good she is. And eventually Asuka comes out to interrupt her, and she's pissed off, and she's just storming down to the ring. They want none of it. Alexa and Mickie want none of it. And so then eventually Nia comes out. And as soon as Nia's music hits, Asuka just looks terrified. And I thought that was really weird. Why would Asuka be terrified of anybody? She's undefeated. She's arguably the most intimidating female wrestler on the planet. Arguably the most dangerous on the planet. Yet she seems scared. I understand Alexa being scared. I understand maybe even Mickie being scared. But Asuka doesn't make sense. So then you got Alexa and Nia and Mickie James start beating down Asuka, just pretty much destroying her at that point. So then Bayley and Sasha come out to save Asuka. They start fighting off Alexa and Mickie and Nia, but then somehow they get the best of Sasha and Bayley, and they're able to get out the ring, get away from them. And so they go to a commercial break, come back, and it says Kurt issued this match, a 6-woman tag. So now we're having a 6-woman tag. Sasha, Bayley, and Asuka versus Alexa, Mickie, and Nia. And so it was actually a pretty good match, to be honest. It went a decent amount of time, too. It was a good match. It was some nice spots in the match. Sasha got some good moves in during the match. And so towards the end, Sasha goes to tag Bayley. And Bayley, still remembering from what Sasha did to her at the Elimination Chamber, she jumped down from the ring rope and didn't tag in. So that was really an interesting character move to see Bayley kind of turn her back on Sasha. Since Sasha's turned her back on Bayley so many times, I thought it was really interesting. And Sasha's just looking on like, why did you do that? Acting like she doesn't know why she would do that. So eventually she tags Asuka in. Asuka gets some big moves. And eventually Asuka gets one of the women. I believe it was Mickie James, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was Mickie James she got in the Asuka lock, and she ended up tapping her out, I believe. So in the end, it was a pretty decent match. I liked the build towards it. The only thing I didn't like was how Asuka was scared when Nia Jax's music hit. I understand Nia is supposed to be built up, and that's great and all, but still, Asuka shouldn't be scared of anybody. I think that's a terrible way to build her up. I like how they progressed the story with Sasha and Bayley. I like the look at the end of the match where Sasha's in the corner of the barricade on the outside of the ring, and Bayley's still looking on. All she does is she turns and looks at Sasha, and they both give each other these death stares. I thought it was really nice. So all in all, pretty decent match. And so next, we have John Cena coming out and talking on the mic about how at the end of Elimination Chamber, when he was a guest on Raw Talk on the WWE Network, that he was feeling sorry for himself, and the commentators, and they had a video package of how they were playing him up as they've never seen him like this before, and it's true. I haven't ever seen him like that before, even. But then so he was talking about how he didn't know how he was going to have a WrestleMania match and this and that. And so he said, I think I have a plan. He's like, I'm calling out The Undertaker. So, but then he went on to say, well, that match isn't going to happen because he doesn't make the matches. He wants that match. The fans want the match. Undertaker probably wants the match himself, but he doesn't make the matches, so it can't happen. So he said, so his plan now, since it probably won't happen, is that he is going to SmackDown for tonight, and he's going to make and earn his own way to WrestleMania. So that's pretty much it on that segment. I would say, for the simple fact that he mentioned The Undertaker and having a match with The Undertaker, somehow they're going to continue that. I don't see how he would just mention it just to troll the fans or just to play up on it so everybody'd shut up about it. I don't think it's going to be that kind of a scenario. I do think, for the simple fact that he mentioned having the match, that they're going to continue working on that storyline, and we're probably going to see something tonight or maybe next Monday on Raw. Maybe The Undertaker comes out next Monday on Raw and challenges Cena. Who knows? So we'll see where this goes. Hopefully they do have the match. I've been wanting to see that match personally for years. I'm shocked that they've never made this match considering how big of a star Cena is, and they've always wanted the biggest stars at WrestleMania to face Undertaker. So that part confuses me a bit. But all in all, it was a decent promo from Cena, and so we'll see what happens on SmackDown. So next we have Bray comes out to face Heath Slater. And so you see Slater and Rhino in the ring, and I think Rhino's about to get out so the match can start. And then before the bell can even ring, Bray just destroys Rhino, knocks him out the ring, beats down Slater, takes them both out. And then I think eventually, I can't quite remember if they actually started the match or they didn't, but either way, Bray gets Slater into the corner, and as he he does his running lariat into the corner, and as he's pulling him out the corner, looking like he might go for Sister Abigail, he actually starts dancing with Slater, which was really funny and kind of furthers how crazy Bray is at this point. Like, you're really dancing with this guy you're supposed to be having a match with. It was funny, but interesting. I'll just say interesting. There's not much to say about Bray anymore, but it was interesting. And then after he hits him with Sister Abigail, and I'm guessing at that point, Slater rolls out the ring, and that whole bit's done. Bray grabs the mic, sits down in the corner, and he blames Matt for him attacking Rhino and Slater, or why he did what he did to Rhino and Slater, which is kind of stupid, but I guess that's where they're going with the story. And he says that they will fight again, and so we'll see what happens. I think he said the war is far from over, something like that. So we'll see what happens with that. Who knows? Who knows anymore with this storyline? I really pray, and it's looking like, because the only other pay-per-view until now in WrestleMania is Fastlane, and that's a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. How they're doing this story now, I believe they're going to have like the final blow-off match at WrestleMania, or they're going to have a huge, momentous storyline progression moment at WrestleMania, I guess you can call it. We'll see what happens with that. So next we have The Miz come out, giving one of the most passionate promos I've ever seen him give. You know, he has that famous promo, a lot of people say was his greatest promo ever, on Talking Smack last year, I believe. But I think, honestly, this might have been his better promo. I would say that this is his best promo he's ever done. Definitely the most passionate. He was fired up. He was intense. And really, you know, there's an old saying how if a heel is going to say something bad or do something bad, in his mind, he has to believe he's doing the right thing or he's telling the truth. In this, every word that Miz said was true. I mean, you can argue it if you want to, but every word that the Miz said, aside from himself being like the greatest ever, is true. I mean, he does deserve better by having a match at WrestleMania. He should have already had one planned or something in the making for somebody being a number one contender. He has been there for 12 years. He does deserve more respect. He's a WWE champion, main event WrestleMania. He's an 8-time Intercontinental champion, United States champion, tag team champion. You name it, he's done it. He deserves more respect. What can you say? What he was saying was the truth. But so he was running down Anaheim. Why he has to be in Anaheim when Los Angeles is 45 minutes away. And Los Angeles being the better city and all that. Thought it was funny. So Seth Rollins comes out next, and I guess they're having a match. So it was actually a pretty decent match. I really enjoyed it. They had a decent amount of time. If I'm not mistaken, it went through 2 commercial breaks. Really decent match. A lot of nice spots in this match. Lots of passion from The Miz in this match. Just real intensity. I loved it. I thought it was great. Then at the very end of the match, Seth hits a frog splash from the other side of the ring. He gets on the top rope, and The Miz is on the other side of the ring, diagonal from him, laying in the ring. He hits a frog splash all like 3/4 of the way across the ring. Really awesome. He pins The Miz, wins the match. Really exciting way to end the match. Then Finn comes out for a match with The Miz. I don't even think they mentioned anything about it, but he just immediately starts coming out. The bell rings. The Miz-Taraj immediately attack him. Then Gallows and Anderson come out, and they start fighting off the Miz-Taraj. Kurt comes on the Titantron and says that essentially Gallows and Anderson and the Miz-Taraj are all going to be banned from ringside, and there's going to be a one-on-one match with no interference. And if the Miz doesn't go through with the match, then he might not even have a WrestleMania match. So the Miz don't have a choice here. It was a decent match as well. I don't think it was as good as Seth versus the Miz, but it was still pretty good. There was a nice spot in there where Balor was delivering the yes kicks to Miz, just kind of like mocking the Miz. I thought that was nice. Then after he does the kicks, he does a running drop kick off the ropes. Hits his coup de grace, and he wins the match. He beats the Miz too. Miz got beat twice in a row, same night. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen with that. I'm guessing the rumor is now that it's gonna be a triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But next we got Roman. Roman comes out, gives his promo on winning the Elimination Chamber match. And so he goes and starts saying that, well, I guess y'all can't wait until Brock and I get face to face, huh? Or something like that. And so he goes on to say that Brock didn't show up today, and he starts running down Brock on how he doesn't show up to anything, and he only shows up when it benefits him, when the money's right, when the city's right, and all this and that. He just start. This was, in my opinion, the best Roman Reigns promo that he has ever done. Period, bar none. I'm almost positive. I can almost bet money, and I'll get on to the rest of this as to why I think this, but I believe this was a shoot work promo, meaning, for those of you that don't know what that means, it's a promo that makes it look like he's speaking from the heart and not from a script, but it's really just a worked shoot promo so that they can continue hyping up this story. because then he goes on to say, Roman doesn't respect that bitch, or I don't respect that bitch, talking about Brock Lesnar. He's like, he doesn't respect anybody in the back. He doesn't respect me, Roman, etc. Best promo ever. That's all. That's all I got down on my notes. Just in capital letters, best Roman promo ever, because I've never seen Roman that fired up in a promo. He's always been calm and collective for the most part. This was definitely the most shoot promo I've ever seen him do as well. I'm almost positive that this is a shoot work, because I know he mentioned, he was like, now I'm going to go to the back and get my ass chewed out and take it like a man, but it had to be said. I hope it's just a shoot work so that Roman doesn't continue to get himself in trouble. Who knows? We'll see what happens, but if it is a shoot work, bravo WWE. Y'all did something right, because this was incredible. And if it was a shoot work, it's a great way to continue the Brock Roman storyline, which really, aside from a few people probably in the world that actually want to see the match again, it had no momentum going into it. It had nothing hyping it really, but this right here, this was a good way to start hyping the match. So next we have an impromptu Bar versus Titus Worldwide tag team rematch, 2 out of 3 falls match. I think right as the bell rings, Sheamus bro kicks Titus right in the face. Awesome way to start the match. Kind of threw Titus Worldwide off guard. And that may have ended up being why the end was the way it was. Then there was some fast-paced back and forth between Apollo and Sheamus and Cesaro. Titus was out of it for a while. Titus finally got in the match. Titus Worldwide started getting a comeback, hitting some big moves. Really nice offense. I like the offense between Titus Worldwide, or from them. Apollo gets distracted on the top rope towards the end, and the bar knocks him off. Hits the finisher, and then they get the very last pin. And I believe I missed the notes on this, but when Sheamus hit the bro kick on him from the get-go, I believe he pinned Sheamus at that point. And so at the very end, Apollo gets knocked off the ropes. They hit their finisher on him, and then they win 2-0. 2-0. The Bar retains the titles. I do not understand the point of this match. It didn't make any sense. I understand they're continuing to build up the Bar, but come on. They beat them fair and square at Elimination Chamber. They made them look like straight up chumps. Not that they weren't already, but they made Titus Worldwide look like straight up chumps, beating them 2-0. I didn't understand the point of this match. Great that the Bar retained their titles, but I don't understand it. After the Bar say they're too dominant and there's nobody to beat. So I don't know if they're going to bring in a new tag team, or a new tag team is going to step up, or they're going to bring a tag team up from NXT to challenge them. But they're right. There is no other tag teams that they have fought that they have not won against so far. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that. But so next we find out who the next Hall of Fame inductee is, and it's for the Warrior Award, excuse me. This sweet little boy, Jarius J.J. Robertson, is ill, and so they gave him a nice video package. It was really awesome. I remember being on Twitter at the time of watching this, and everybody all over the world, including like people like Mick Foley, was just like, if you don't like this kid after this package, then I don't know what to tell you. So that was that. It was a really nice package. I liked it. Well deserved, you can say. So next we have Elias. He's just singing in the ring, doing his usual thing, singing about Braun and Corey Graves being noise pollution, because Braun earlier in the night did a little promo about Elias being noise pollution. Everything that comes out of his mouth, everything that he plays is noise pollution. So he's like Braun singing and Corey Graves on commentary is noise pollution. I thought that was a really funny line. And so Braun interrupts Elias, and then they have a match. Braun absolutely dominates Elias, just tears him up. And Elias really couldn't get any offense. Threw Elias in the barricade. Elias tries to crawl under the ring. I'm guessing maybe to get away. I'm not sure if it was his original plan or not, but I guess he was trying to get away. Braun pulls him by the legs out from under the ring, and Elias has this fire extinguisher and just sprays him straight in the face as Braun was trying to turn back around. Braun attempts to eventually power slam him through the announcer's table when they get to the top of the ramp, because Elias, I think, was continuing to spray him with the fire extinguisher up that area. And so as Braun was trying to power slam him into the announcer's table, Elias reversed that and ran backstage. And as they were running backstage, Braun was running after him, acting like he couldn't see because of the fire extinguisher got in his eyes and all that, and running all the way out to the parking lot area. And then by that time, Elias just got so far away. Braun screams out, "I'm not finished with you." And as he was walking away, a limo pulled up, and I'm assuming it was Ronda Rousey or Triple H and Steph or somebody. And then that was pretty much the end of that segment. And so for the main event, we have Triple H and Stephanie come out. This was the ending segment to the show. They start talking about Rousey, what Rousey did at Elimination Chamber. Isn't allowed in WWE like it is in MMA. Steph says WWE owns Rousey now, and she can't be doing those types of things. Steph calls out Kurt because she wants him to apologize for doing what he did at Elimination Chamber, saying the things that he said. But then before Kurt can really say anything, Rousey comes down, just pretty much takes a beeline straight from the ring and act like she's just going to jump right on Stephanie or something. And so eventually Kurt he apologized and acted pretty sincere. He told Rousey, it's like, "I need this job," and everybody started laughing. It was a pretty funny moment, actually. He said that he needs his job. He told Rousey he didn't know why he lied about everything that he did last night. He just did. I'm guessing he was scared. He said he needed the job, and I thought that was a funny moment again. So as they were leaving the ring after he apologized, Rousey demanded Stephanie to apologize for her for the slap. She says she never been so disrespected in her life, never been slapped. So Stephanie gets back in the ring, tries to give this sincere babyface promo about how sorry she is, and then so she just kind of left it at that. And as Steph, Kurt, and Triple H is leaving the ring, Triple H gets outside the ring on the apron, and as Kurt was about to exit the ring, Triple H just turns around and knocks him one, and he hits the floor. They leave the ring, and then that's pretty much it. You see Rousey consoling Kurt, and that was the end of the show. Thought it was an interesting way to end the show. Interesting way to continue the story. You saw quite a bit of progression on the show tonight. They got about 5 more weeks of build to WrestleMania. So they didn't progress these storylines as much as they could have, but I understand why, because you have 5 more weeks. You need things to be able to do between now and then. But I like the show overall. I thought it was pretty good. Some decent matches, some decent spots, some decent progression. So, guys, tell me what you think in the comments. Click on the Facebook and Twitter links in the description. Go to About, and I'm pretty sure you can find it there. Send me a message or a post on Facebook. Send me a message or a post on Twitter, or both of those options. I just want to know what you guys think. What did you think of the show? What do you think about the storyline progressions? How well do you think Rousey's going to perform at WrestleMania? That's a big question. What do you think now that you can obviously tell it's going to be Kurt and Rousey versus Steph and Triple H at WrestleMania? There is another rumor that it possibly could be Rousey versus Triple H at WrestleMania. That would be interesting, but also at the same time kind of dumb. But that's just a rumor right now, so we'll see. But on the other hand, if that does happen, I guess you could say, well, Rousey's so tough she fought a man at WrestleMania, so who really knows? But tell me what you guys think. Thank you guys for continuing to support, to view the episodes. Please subscribe to the channel. Please send me a like. Please like Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. If you guys have any questions, just message me. And until next time, guys, stay united.